Yeah, that's right. The show is 5 quick questions. I talked to my friends, and I can't wait to get on with this young man that I have on the line today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. He's a producer. He's a writer. He's a mogul, a businessman. He's a motivational speaker. He kind of does it all. He's here today, Mr. Rushion McDonald. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. First of all, mad because it took me this long to get on this show. You called me, which was good. If you're gonna take this long to get on somebody's show, you should call and ask that person to get on the show.
Yes,
you don't
sir.
have no assistant call. You don't have no talent booker call, because I would go off. Why are you calling me? Where's Rodney Perry?
I'm calling directly.
He called me directly, everybody. So this relationship has been centered again. It's
Yes, sir.
centered again.
Yes, sir. And I had the pleasure of coming on your show as well. And Rushion, you're one of those guys that's never down, man. You're always reinventing yourself. And I had somebody ask me the question, like, what do you attribute your longevity to? I'm gonna ask you that. Question number one out of the 5 quick questions: what do you attribute your longevity to?
One, relationships. Two, I don't allow age to be an excuse. In other words, whatever age, I'm 64 years of age right now. That means nothing to me, because I wake up the next day planning opportunities. I have goals set in place, things I have to do that may be 4, 5, 10 years down the line. So my mindset, a lot of people stop being successful or stop living because they have a predetermined that they're supposed to be or act a certain way at a certain age. Now, when you come out of high school, I always tell people there are 3 ages that are important in life to me: 18, 40, and 60. 18, you come out of high school, you finally able to make decisions for yourself, so to speak. You can go to you can just, like when I came out of high school, I took a job as a forklift driver, because that's what I wanted to do. Everybody wanted me to go to college, Rodney. I said, hey, I want to be a forklift driver. And brother, I went and got a job as a forklift driver. 1 month later, because I didn't know how to drive a forklift. Because when I was 15, I'm just letting everybody know the truth.
Okay.
My first job, my dad was a truck driver. So he got me my first job at one of the truck stops where I was unloading boxes. And these young black guys, they were, all of them was driving forklifts and unloading trucks, man. They were my first exposure to black men, And I said, I want to be just like them. So that mentality, I don't care how smart, how many A's I got in my school, their influence on me was so significant that I wanted to be just like them when I came out of high school. So despite people saying I can go to college, despite SAT scores, despite graduating the top 1% of my class, all I wanted to be was what I thought I should be based on what I envisioned them.
Wow.
And I and a month later, I dropped a box on the guy's hand, broke his hand, got fired.
Wait a minute.
So that forklift career lasted 1 month. 1 month.
Wow.
And the true story is that my high school teacher, my biology teacher, she had me sign some papers before I left high school. And I went back to her crying and asked her, she said, "What you doing?" I said, "Well, I was a forklift driver." She said, "What you going to do?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Well, how about going to college?" I said, "Well, it's too late. I haven't applied." She said, "Yes, you have. You've been accepted at the University of Houston."
Get out of here.
She had the paper I signed was an application paperwork that she submitted. And she submitted all my paperwork. And that is how I got into college. And that started my academic career. So that happened to me at 18. And so that means that there were people who believed in me. I had mentors when the word mentor wasn't used like that, like it is used today. Mentorship is very important. Now, at 40, a lot of people have not achieved what they wanted to do in life. They might be in a marriage they don't want to be in. They might be in a job they don't know how to quit. They might have a dream they don't know how to pursue. Fears take control of your life. The fear of change. The word we see so popular now is the word pivot. Pivot. How do you pivot? The pivot is just a popular word to use, but it's about fear drives that ability. Like people say, Rushion, you understand, you'd be doing this one day, this the other day, but I put energy into that. So if you're not happy with your life, you're going to do 2 things. You're going to throw in the towel, which 90% of us do, and 10% of us going to push through our fear and move forward. And then at 60, a lot of people think it's retirement. In their mind, the government's told them, hey, slow it down, find some place to vacation. Well, that's still not the way the system works. If you wake up every day with a plan of action that you can win, that you can be different, that you can achieve the greatness that God enabled you to do, then you will win. And that's how I am today. That is why I believe, successful, because of the fact that I instill that same energy around my staff, and I push them, and they complain, but I don't care.
Of course.
I don't care. I really don't care, because of the fact that you have an option to leave, walk out that door. If I'm so frustrating you and paying you at the same time and frustrating you, leave.
Right.
Because I am only asking you to look in the mirror and plan your life. Because if you don't plan your life, I swear to you, Rodney, you'll be frustrated.
Wow. The name of the show is 5 Quick Questions. That man right there is Mr. Rushion McDonald. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. And like me, you've been in service of other people on your journey.
Absolutely.
And I think we all go spend some portion of our journey in service
Absolutely.
of another person.
Yes.
Speak to me about service and how important that is or was for you on your journey.
Well, it's every day. Like I said, when you manage a talent, then you're in service of that talent. And like I said, I was in service of Steve Harvey was my boss for 16 years. And from 2000 to 2016, he asked me to manage his career, and we had an amazing run for 2 black men.
And did you have a history of that? How did you and him have the wherewithal to go, we can do this?
No, because that goes back to that fearlessness that I tell everybody about, walking through that wall. When he asked me to do something, I never managed anybody in my life. I was a very successful sitcom writer at the time. I was still writing on The Parkers, which starred Monique, and there was on UPN at some UPN CW, one of those stations back then. And but I saw something in him that was unique, and I felt that there was something that. If I could step back for a minute, Steve Harvey and I go way back, and then we go back to 1992 when I had a comedy club in Houston called the Hip Hop Comedy Stop, and I was very funny. I will call Dave Chappelle my friend. I would call you my friend. I'd call Jamie Foxx. I call all these comedians out there who have legendary names my friend, George Wallace, and so. In 1992, I saw Steve Harvey go on stage after I performed, and I thought I had lit the stage up. And prior to him going on stage, he got a standing ovation before he even issued a joke. And he proceeded to do an hour and a half of material that I wouldn't even have thought of doing. It was at that point in 1992 I realized that being a comedian was not what I wanted to do. That's what he wanted to do. And see, what a lot of people don't do is realize that just because you're successful someplace don't mean that path has to stay there. There has to be a certain admission. And athletes have to, and if you're in the athletic world, they get it quickly because they already know that they can't be running a 4.40 at 50 years old. Even though T.O. still thinks he can do that.
He really do.
These just rare people that can do it. We're talking about everyday thought process. So when people talk to me, Rodney, like you're talking to me in service of, ever since I've been 18 years old, I have been channeling people to be successful from a standpoint and encouraging them to be different. And so as I manage talent, I manage Stephen A. Smith right now. Brands come to me like Creamalicious, which is one of the top ice cream brands in the country. Other brands come to me, corporations come to me, military branches come to me because they want me to shape their vision to enable them to come there. So that's a part of the service process because I'm willing to share my gifts. And my gifts in the end, even when this is a service that I'm delivering to you and your listeners or viewers, because I'm trying to tell them that they can be successful. The problem is, do they want to hear and be responsible for their success? That's the key. Because to be Rushion or be Rodney Perry, it takes effort to set this call up. You called me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a lot of people want to do this, but do they want to make that call? Do they want to set the time? Do they want to be on time? So I get up at 4:30 Monday through Friday. I don't want to get up, Rodney. I tell everybody that. Rushion McDonald does not want to get up at 4:30. But that's part of the process.
Yes, sir.
and that's how it works for me. So I'm in service to you. I'm in service to everybody. My run with Steve Harvey was an incredible run. He was my boss. Right now, I am managing Stephen A. Smith. He's my boss. So you have to pull back the arrogance and the ego and realize that you are there to make somebody's brand or life better. You cannot be bigger than the brand. I cannot be bigger than the military. I cannot be bigger than Steve Harvey. I cannot be bigger than Stephen A. Smith. Otherwise, I am abusing the role that they asked me to do, was to help them to build their brands.
Wow. Name of the show, 5 Quick Questions. That man right there is Mr. Rushion McDonald. I watched the video on TikTok, and I'm just floored at how you are literally everywhere. And you were speaking about being uncomfortable. Talk to me about being uncomfortable and how that could be to your benefit.
Well, the thing about it is that we wake up uncomfortable, but a lot of people don't want to deal with that. They hit a snooze button, or they're take it out on their relationship, or they'll take it out on their coworkers. And I tell my staff all the time, do not bring bad days to work. Well, my mom died. Okay. Seriously, okay. Maybe you should have stayed home. Maybe because if you can't be able to change that medium of, because both my parents have died. I've lost 2 of my sisters in my life. I've done the eulogy on all 4 of them. Okay. And so that is pain. And so what the average person doesn't deal with is being uncomfortable. They don't want to be uncomfortable. I mean, and uncomfortable comes in a lot of layers, because their uncomfortableness is usually tied to what they're not willing to do. They're not willing to be in shape. They're not willing to get to work on time. They're not willing to do more. If they don't pay me more, I won't do more. Excuse me. The way you get paid more, you have to do more. I'm sorry, or they won't pay you. If you do not do more based on the amount of money you're making, they will keep you at your check. People pay you more out of fear that they cannot afford to lose you.
Wow. That
is why Tom Brady's back. That is why Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback at Green Bay still, despite the fact he said, I don't want to be here. Well, how about this check? Well, something, I feel so much better.
Yeah. You definitely figured out when the money right.
And so when people look at me or they look at themselves, I always say, okay, because people come to me all the time. Well, I don't like my job. Well, maybe your job don't like you. How about that?
Yo, the show is clicking along. Question number 4. Maybe your job don't like you. Question number 4, Rushion. We almost there, man. Goodness gracious. What's your dream right now?
My dream right now, man, is HBCUs. I did not attend an HBCU. I know I have a gift. I have a gift of marketing. I have a gift of branding, and I will use my talents to turn those 4 letters into academic excellence.
Yes, sir.
Not beyond Black excellence, because that's right now it is Black excellence. When you know that 80% of the doctors and dentists who are Black come from HBCUs, 50% of the school teachers who are Black come from HBCUs, 40% of the members of Congress who are Black come from HBCUs, 25% of the STEM graduates come from HBCUs. Most Black engineers come from North Carolina A&T. Most generals in the military who are Black come from South Carolina State. These are just numbers, but they mean something, because if you put numbers on the table, then you can disseminate the argument. So that means that my argument to everybody nowadays is that that's my legacy. That's my next step. That's what I want to do in my life. I want to be able to take academic excellence that is being achieved at HBCUs and make it recognized worldwide.
Wow, I love that idea, that concept, Rushion, man. I've been a fan of yours for many years. Whether it's the jewels you dropped on us as writers on the Steve Harvey's Big Time, I mean, just the willingness to share, was always impressive to me. As you make your way through this life, you have many skills. Before we go, last question. Can I talk to Rushion McDonald, the chef?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can talk to me. Yeah, in fact, I actually have a garden at my building. Own a building in Peachtree Corners, out back in my garden. It's called
Okay.
Rushion's Kitchen. I got a backdrop. Rushion's Kitchen. I have sweet potatoes, I have watermelons, I have cantaloupe, bell peppers, jalapenos, Brussels sprouts, okra, collard green, cabbages, cucumbers on the edge. Then on the back, I got cherry tomatoes and I got husky tomatoes. And then I got three strawberry plants that'll be bearing strawberry fruit. Then it come up front. I got blackberry plant and I got two grapes trees.
You
That's
you you ready for the revolution?
I'm ready, brother. And I'm gonna tell you something. It started during the pandemic, at the house, and I was around my pool. I had these flower pots. Plants were dead in them, and so I went up to the store and I put some cherry, some tomatoes in there. I went, wow, and so it calms me, and so it makes me happy. It makes me see. I'm gonna give people a little hint about life, and his life is frustrates you because you can't always reach the goal you want in the time that you want. And so by having this garden on my wall, I know in 45 days I can pull my collard greens and my cabbages.
Yeah.
In 70 days, I'll be able to pull my tomatoes. In 90 days, I'll be able to pull my watermelon and my cantaloupe. They'll be all out on vines. So right there, despite what life is having out there, frustrating me because I'm not meeting the goals or the financial expectation, my garden keeps me motivated because I can see myself achieving goals. And so
Wow.
I always recommend people who are frustrated and are goal oriented like me or just don't know what to do with their life. Start a little garden, start a plant, grow it, watch it grow, and take care of that plant. And the same level of respect and nurturing you give to that plant will pay off in your everyday life. And so when I park my truck, I always go there. Even though when I left the next day about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I look at it and I see a bell pepper growing. I see a jalapeno pepper growing. I see the Brussels sprouts starting to come out. I know that it's the Memorial Day weekend, I will be chopping my collard greens because they be ready to go up. I'm gonna dig those bad boys up and put some fresh ones back down. I'm gonna put some lettuce
Wow.
down that row. Soon as that, the cabbages, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take it into my kitchen that's in my office building, and I'm gonna make that right there. And Rodney, I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I'm gonna invite you by so you can see for truth. Then I'm telling you, we're gonna take some photos. And
Hey,
you
hey,
go,
I wouldn't miss it for the world, man.
you're a turkey guy. You do bacon. I want to make sure.
Hey, I'm gonna taste it. Whatever you
Okay,
cook
cool.
it up, I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
eat it.
what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do some cornbread, go some black eyed peas, okay,
Yes, sir.
and then I'm gonna bake the chicken, but the chicken looks like it's fried. I bake it, but it looks like it's fried. Okay, you'll go over there, go Rushion, it's fried. I go, no, bro. You in Rushion's kitchen. You asked me about the chef stuff, okay, but in closing, the stuff that everybody gets excited about is my baking, though.
Yeah.
I got a TikTok account right now. I just started it like 4 months ago. It's over 20,000, 21,000 followers. So,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just amazed that people react to me, man. And life has been such a blessing. It's a blessing to be on your show, man.
Wow.
I think that anybody allows me to talk and tell them why they can be great. I should take advantage of that. And that's what you told me to come on this. We should be you. And it ain't about me. It's about what I can get you to do for your life to make you realize that you can be special. But it takes steps. And those steps are tied to you not being afraid of change,
Yeah.
realizing that your age does not matter. You can be 50 years old and still pursue your dreams. You can be
Agree.
7 years old and still pursue your dream. So stop allowing numbers to dictate your path to success. Allow effort and planning to allow you to achieve your success. And so when I sit on this show and talk to you and start enabling individuals like you to be able to allow me to spread the word of greatness to everybody, because I forgot you was on Steve Harvey's Big Time. My life has been so interesting, man, that I've touched so many people, Rodney,
Yeah.
that until they remind me, I forgot because I just
Yeah.
my job is to make you better, man,
Yeah.
and to be on your show. It's going to be somebody's going to hear this show and they're going to be better for it because of the fact that they saw the genuine conversation you had and know that I have no agenda. My
Wow.
agenda is to challenge you to wake up in the morning at a set time every day, Monday through Friday, be committed to change. if change is part of the goal. Do not be afraid of change. And that fear that you walk through will enable you to be great. But know when you accept the responsibility of being great, you better have goals in place. You better make your goals and be ready to understand that once you make your goal, set a new one. Do
Ooh.
not allow yourself to say, I'm done. Set a new one. That's why you see corporations keep buying and keep grabbing assets. You saw Amazon, they bought MGM, Disney, they own Hulu, they own FX, they own Fox Studios, they own ESPN, because they own parks. Because that's how, if you look at the way a company works, you can work the same way, but you have to admit there's a lot of work to be great. There's a lot of work to be able to plan yourself to be consistently successful. And that's all I was to say on your show.
Hey, man, the man has got a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information. You can catch him on his own show, Money Making Conversations. How else do we stay in touch with you, Rushion?
Hey, man, follow me on my TikTok, man. I'm having fun, man, because I'll be cooking out of my garden that I talked to you about. And guess what? When you follow me, definitely follow me around Memorial Day, that first week after the weekend, because Rodney going to be by the office. He will be eating those collard greens. I will make him homemade cornbread right in front of him. I'm doing it all right in front of him.
I'm going to be right there.
Huh?
I ain't going to miss it.
Yeah, he going all of them in front of him. We're going to videotape it and everything. Because I want him to walk out of there going, Rushion, you weren't lying. No, brother. Welcome to my world, brother. Welcome to my world. I love it.
Hey, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. Have a great rest of the day, Rushion, man. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Hey, y'all, the name of the show is 5 Quick Questions. That man is Rushion McDonald. Love you, bro. Wow, what a show today, guys. Rushion came through, dropped so many jewels. Oh, my God. Y'all know the show. Keep watching.